having me here. My name is Dana, and I'm the program manager for the MS in Data Science program at Vanderbilt. So I have a really short PowerPoint slide for you today, and then if you have any questions after I'm done, feel free to unmute yourself or put your questions in the chat. But in any case, so our program is relatively new. We launched in 2018 and are currently recruiting for our third ever class. So we have our first class of students will graduate in this spring semester. And then our second class this summer will be going on an internship. And currently we have about 60 students or so spread out among both classes. But as you are currently in your undergraduate degree and exploring different career opportunities, I wanted to spend just a quick minute to cover why you might want to study data science. So the first piece here that I wanted to cover is that data science is a really great field for students or people with a knack for qualitative problem solving, someone who has really good analytical skills, someone who has an interest in programming, and also someone who is really strong at communicating. So data science is a great interdisciplinary field. You can work on projects from a number of different areas with this skill set. So it's great for someone who's really curious and wants to learn a lot about the world, and also someone who wants to tackle big, complicated problems. So you'll be working with big data, working on really open-ended questions that you can solve in any number of different ways. And so that being said, data science can be a really interesting field for someone who's very curious in that way. Now, data science as a career is really on the up and up right now. It's the #1 skills shortage reported among companies. So there are a number of open data science jobs currently. You can see here, the last time I pulled the numbers, is about 250,000 open data science jobs across the country. And then of course, there are jobs across the world in data science. And then the median salary for data scientists with a master's degree is about $90,000. So pretty good starting salaries as an entry-level data scientist. Our program covers sort of the areas I just talked about. So we are very strong in computational skills, programming, data structures, computer systems, and methods. We also do a lot with data analysis. So you'll do data exploration, prediction, inference, and algorithms in the program. And then we have a focus on practice as well. So you get those communication skills. We have several courses in the program where you're working on live data as a consultant, sort of, with different companies. And then we bring in different representatives from different companies in to speak with the students. And along the way, you're learning team leadership skills, communication skills, skills in terms of working with clients, and so on. So the program is a 2-year program. You will start in the fall semester, really with some of those basic skills. So you take a probability and statistical inference course. You take an intro level course on principles of programming, where you're getting a crash course in R and in Python. And then the survey of data science applications and the exploratory data analysis class are a little bit more industry focused as well. So your survey of data science applications is a course where we bring in a lot of guest speakers to speak with the students. You get an overview of data science as a career and how data science is used and applied throughout different industries. And then EDA, again, sort of takes what you're learning in probability and statistical inference and takes what you're learning in the programming course and sort of combine them so you are getting that first taste of the actual work of what a data scientist does. A couple of other courses I just wanted to call out in the first year. The spring semester of your first year, you're taking an ethics course, which is data science rights and responsibility. So, you know, when you're, if you just put in a Google search or a Google alert for data in your Google alerts, you'd get so many different news stories about, you know, the ethics of data sharing. And that's just a really hot topic right now in the news. And so we make our students take a class to really think about those issues because, you know, you will be stewards of people's data as a data scientist. And with that comes a lot of questions and, you know, challenges that you might face ethically. So that's a really important and discussion-based class. And then data science and teams, you take 2 levels of that course, you know, one in your spring semester of your first year, and then one in your spring semester of your second year. And that's the course where you're working on live data with clients. And the end of the course is usually a competition of sorts where you're presenting your findings to the client and then they pick the best project. So due to NDAs, I can't share exactly who we are working with, but last semester it was a insurance company. This semester it is a very large company based here in Nashville that's more on the automotive side. And then we're also doing a shorter project with a startup here as well. So really, really cool opportunity to take what you've learned in the program so far and apply it. That second time you take the class, you actually become the team leaders of the project. So you will get some experience in leadership before you graduate, which is great. In between the first and the second year, we do have our students do a required internship. And even with COVID this year, all but 2 of our students were able to do an internship. And we have some waivers in place. So if you have, you know, some working experience or, you know, something else that might apply, then you might be able to get out of it. But I recommend that all students do the internship, you know, either way, because, you know, you're hoping to get a job, and so having that experience on your resume before you graduate is only going to help. And then the second year, it just gets more complicated, I'd say, or more advanced in terms of the programming that you're learning and in terms of the data science analysis that you'll be doing. But I wanted to call out a couple of things here. We are a professional master's program, so instead of doing a dissertation, you'll do a capstone project, again, working on live data, and you can choose the project that you work on. And then you also get 2 electives, and these electives can be anywhere in Vanderbilt at the graduate level. So if you are interested in taking a business class or a biostatistics class, you can do that to enhance your skill set or help you get into the career you want to get into. Before I move on, I wanted to call out one other thing. There are several 1-year data science programs out there, and I often get asked, you know, why is Vanderbilt's program a 2-year? And, you know, that was really based off of our conversations with people in industry, hiring managers, you know, lead data scientists, and so on. A 2-year program really gives students the skills needed to just hit the ground running once they graduate. You are going to be exposed to several different concepts, several different skills, and you get the chance to practice those new skills and concepts multiple times so that you're really learning them, really knowing them in a deep way, not at the surface level. And hiring managers notice this, they prefer to hire graduates from 2-year programs. So just a caveat there, we did this also because a lot of the times our students are competing for jobs with PhD graduates as well. So, that just brings you to a higher level, in terms of competitiveness for the job market. I mentioned this a lot, but experiential learning is a big part of our program. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this slide, but I did want to call out just some of the names of the companies that our students have had internships at or we've worked with in the classroom. So Deloitte, Wayfair, Apple, Google. We actually have a couple of students that are going to Amazon after they graduate. We had some students at Alibaba, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Research Institute, the Nashville Predators, and the Nashville Soccer Club here, so in the sports industry. So in terms of careers, we have students going to all different sorts of industries and companies, startups to multinational corporations, sports teams, and everything in between. So again, as I mentioned before, data science is a real interdisciplinary field, and we see that in the types of jobs that our students are going after. We also have a handful of students every year that are planning on doing PhD programs. And so with that, we can help with PhD applications as well if anyone is interested in that. Within the program, there are research assistant opportunities. Our program is part of the Data Science Institute, and we have approximately 200 affiliated faculty around Vanderbilt that are affiliated with us in some way. And so our students are able to find research assistant positions through them. And getting that opportunity is really good for PhD applications. So I wanted to call that out as well. But in terms of other career services that we can provide, we try to do quite a bit. We bring in resume experts to talk about resumes to our students. And then we also offer one-on-one resume coaching sessions, myself and my colleague Amanda. And then Amanda is really in charge of the career services piece, but this year has been tough due to COVID. So we've been doing a career series each semester where we're bringing in different employers or professionals to host workshops with students or info sessions, just talking about their career path or their company or things like that. But we also receive just job postings quite often. So we have a Slack channel for our students. We share all the job postings there. We'll email it out, but we get those job postings quite a bit. And then in addition to what we do as a program, students are able to access career services at Vanderbilt as well. So you kind of get help from us and you get help from the institution. So there's a lot of help there for students to find jobs. So our class profile is here. We are hoping to recruit a class somewhere between 45 and 60 students for this fall. And then the following fall, we will top out at 60 students. So because we are a new program, we designed a slow growth model where we started out with about 30 students per class. And then by this year or next year, we'll have 60 students per class. So we keep it very small. And you can see here that we are pretty diverse in terms of our student body. We were really proud that last year's class was half women, which is really rare for data science and also really rare for STEM, but that's something that we're very invested in, is having a class 50-50 men and women. And then we're trying to increase our underrepresented minority diversity in the program as well. And then we have about half international students and half domestic students in this year's class also. I also want to call out that we have a mix of students in the class with work experience and some fresh out of undergrad. Work experience is not required to apply, but it's nice to study alongside other students who have working experience, especially because we are a more professional program. Those students can really help in the classroom discussions, in the teams that you'll be working on. It just provides a really good learning environment. We conduct a holistic application review. And I really want to emphasize this. So even though I included the GRE scores there, we don't review GRE scores alone. It's not a category that we look at on its own. And so we really are looking at everything, but what we're focusing on are your overall academics, your qualitative skills, your communication skills, and your programming skills, along with your letters of recommendation and your motivation. So those are the categories that we're sort of thinking through when we're reading an application. And so, you know, the GRE scores, this year we had a waiver due to COVID. We might continue that waiver in the future because I think that there are some fundamental issues with the GRE, and in some cases it can provide us good information about the candidate, but in other cases it might not be a true reflection of their skills or ability. So I wanted to call that out and just let you guys know. Another thing that I wanted to call out is that we are diverse in terms of undergraduate majors. So again, going back to that theme of data science being an interdisciplinary subject, we have an interdisciplinary student body. So, you know, math and statistics, unsurprisingly, is the most popular undergraduate major, but not by much. We have some engineering students, some econ students, computer science. And then I wanted to call out that we have some life sciences students, so like journalists and psychology majors. Again, as long as you are pretty solid in your quantitative skill set and your programming skill set, it doesn't necessarily matter what your undergraduate major was. And again, in fact, it's great to have a diverse student body in terms of academic background, because you'll be studying a number of different topics and solving problems from a number of different fields. So, and then we keep our eligibility fairly basic for our students. So you just need to have a bachelor's degree, and you can apply during your last year of your bachelor's degree. You need to have one semester of calculus at the college level. And it's a benefit if you have a statistics course, but it's not a requirement. And then you just need to have some sort of evidence of programming skills. So that can be on your transcripts, that can be on your resume. So maybe we did it in an internship, or you can take some Coursera courses or something like that to meet that requirement. But we keep it pretty open. However, the more programming experience you have, the better, because you really do hit the ground running quite fast in that first semester. And I'm not going to cover this because it's on the website. If you have questions about our application requirements, I'm happy to do a one-to-one meeting with you. But it's pretty standard, you know, application requirements as what you might see at most other grad schools. So our tuition is listed here. Again, I'm not going to cover it in great detail, but you can take a look. But we do offer scholarships to students. We offer a handful every year that range from 20% to full tuition. Most are merit-based, but we do earmark some of our scholarships for women and for underrepresented minorities as well. So just keep that in mind as you're applying. There's no separate application requirement for the scholarships. However, if you have questions about eligibility or anything like that, you can let me know. This is my contact information. I'm always happy to do meetings with students. My calendar is pretty open for meeting with prospective students. But if I have plenty of time to answer questions now, if there are any in the crowd.
I guess I'll ask a question. Hi, Dana. My name is Sohan. I'm a sophomore, studying political science. I was kind of curious about I had two questions, if that's okay.
Yeah.
My first was, I didn't really see any humanities majors in the diagram. Is that something you don't entertain? And then the second thing is, as a college student looking at, different career paths and different things after Davidson, what would be something I could do to get some of that work experience or kind of substitute for that work experience component?
Yeah. So number one, I've lumped humanities in with the life sciences and on that slide. So certainly you're eligible to apply as long as you have programming experience and some calculus. And in fact, one of our core faculty members is a political scientist. So she teaches the exploratory data analysis class. So yes, political science is a totally valid and a great major to have when you're applying to this program and could lead you into a career in data science. So yes, definitely apply. And then in terms of getting some experience before you apply for grad school, so working experience is not required for our program. But it might be a good idea if you've got that time and you're interested in data science now to explore data science through internships or take some programming, take more programming heavy courses, take more advanced quantitative courses, and take that time to explore the things that you might be doing as a data scientist. So a lot of your time will be spent in R and in Python in the program and also when you graduate. So make sure that you really like that. If you can get an internship where you're programming or doing data analysis, something like that, I think that would be very helpful. Even doing research for a faculty member that you could also find and that would be helpful. But that, again, it's less so for the application and more so to help you make sure that this is a career path you're interested in.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the talk. My name's Caitlin. One question I had was, obviously data science can be applied to so many different fields, and most big companies these days have a data science department. Other than that course you take the fall of your first year that you were talking about, is there exposure to a lot of different specific fields in data science, or do you more just learn a general basis of data science and you can apply it to whatever field you want?
That's a really good question. So our program is curriculum-wise general, but throughout the courses, you will be working on projects from a number of different industries and a number of different types of projects, if that makes sense. So, you know, at this point, we're not offering any specializations or concentrations. But if there is a particular area that you're interested in, like healthcare is a common one we see, or sports is another one that we've been seeing, you can do projects that help you generate more knowledge in those areas, or more knowledge in terms of the types of projects you think you might want to work on. But if you aren't that interested in one particular area, then you can explore and do projects in a number of different industries or a number of different types of problems. One thing I didn't mention, but I think is important to know, is that we have a team of 3 full-time data scientists on our staff that are working on projects, and they accept help from our student body on their projects. And their projects are pretty diverse in terms of what they're looking at. They were doing a legal project and a healthcare project last time I checked. And we actually just hired one of our graduating students to be the 3rd full-time data scientist on the team. So I'm really happy about that, because one of our students is now coming to work with us full-time. And then, you know, I mentioned the data science and teams course. Those projects are diverse fields as well. So you're taking that class twice. You could be potentially exposed to 4 different industries within that course as well.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? All right. Well, if you do think of something after the meeting is over, again, my email is here. You can also find it on our website. But thank you so much for taking some time out of this beautiful day to learn more about Vanderbilt.